stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing, or stress is usually seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning, helps us focus, learn, and remember new things. It's when people experience too much stress and start having difficulties coping that stress becomes a problem. High levels of stress can disrupt the natural changes in the body's stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing or ignoring problems are examples of unhelpful coping strategies or false taps. They might give temporary relief, but actually result in water flowing back into your bucket. This video was created by Brave, Building Healthy Minds. Stress is usually seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning, helps us focus, learn, and remember new things. It's when people experience too much stress and start having difficulties coping that stress becomes a problem. High levels of stress can disrupt the natural changes in the body's stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing or ignoring problems are examples of unhelpful coping strategies or false taps. They might give temporary relief, but actually result in water flowing back into your bucket. This video was created by Brave, Building Healthy Minds. Stress is usually seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning, helps us focus, learn, and remember new things. It's when people experience too much stress and start having difficulties coping that stress becomes a problem. High levels of stress can disrupt the natural changes in the body's stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing or ignoring problems are examples of unhelpful coping strategies or false taps. They might give temporary relief, but actually result in water flowing back into your bucket. This video was created by Brave, Building Healthy Minds. Stress is usually seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning.
Hello, everyone. Please allow me to borrow an inspirational quote from Stephen H. Song. Emotional pain is not something that should be hidden away or never spoken about. There is truth in your pain. There is growth in your pain, but only if it's first brought out into the open. With utmost respect to our school's division superintendent, Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, CESO 6, our two ASDSS, Dr. Raymond M. Salvador and Dr. Romeo M. Daligdig, our CID Chief, Dr. Juliet Magallanes, and SGOD Chief, Dr. Ernesto F. Tardo, to our public schools district supervisors and principal in charge of the district, our school principals and school heads, teachers, non-teaching personnel, learners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to our virtual launching on the Here to Here program, a psychological first aid intervention. And now, to formally open our convergence, may I request everyone to be silent and let us put ourselves in the presence of our Almighty God as we invoke Him in prayer, to be followed by the playing of the Philippine National Anthem and Zamboanga del Sur March through multimedia presentation.
Our Almighty God, loving Heavenly Father, at this moment we pause from our worldly worries and seek your guidance and protection. In these times of uncertainty and great challenges, we still praise you and adore you for blessings you have showered to us, the blessings of life, health, and work. We are also thankful for the opportunity to ask forgiveness of our sins. We have many sins, dear Lord. Nothing is hidden from you, yet we ask that you forgive us and that our supplications still reach your throne of mercy and grace. At this moment, Lord, we pray that you accept our expressions of thanksgiving. We have so many things to be thankful for, and we are most thankful for the opportunity of serving our country through the Department of Education, Schools Division of Zamboanga del Sur. We are thankful for your protection and for sending your angels to envelop us and always keep us away from harm and danger and from the evil doings of men. We are thankful for the wise leadership of our top management, our chiefs, and the cooperation of officials and personnel in the Schools Division Office. We are thankful for the leadership of supervisors and school heads and the commitment and support of all our teachers. With our expressions of gratitude, we ask now that you continue to guide us in our ways. Guide us as we perform our assigned tasks. Guide us as we serve the country. Guide us as we provide education to the children in this part of Mindanao. We also ask that you continue to bless our leaders with wisdom and continue to bless us with a spirit of patience and cooperation. We ask that you always bless our children and their parents and our partners in this work. Remind us always, dear Lord, that we are serving this country by providing education to our children and youth, and that we are doing this so that no one is left behind in illiteracy and ignorance, and that we are able to help parents and guardians mold a new generation of community leaders and even nation builders. We also ask, Lord, that you continue to bless us with what we need, the need of security, safety, and shelter. We know, Lord, that you alone can offer these things to your children, and you alone can offer these completely to us. For our teachers in the field, protect them always, Lord. Give them wisdom and strength as they continue the sacred mission of guiding children, thus making them good citizens of this province and of this country. At this moment, again, we ask that you take away the disease that is plaguing the world now, including Zamboanga del Sur. May it be, Lord, with your intervention, those who are inflicted with COVID-19 will be healed soon, and all of us will be free from the worries this disease brings. At this moment, dear Lord, we yield to your power. your loving kindness, and your will. All these things we ask in your name we pray. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, Adolescent sinamanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang pinirang, kuyak ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatang tulong sa simula, sa langit ang pagkaw, ay tinatang sularaw, sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang lang matawag ko'y tagumpay na nagtitigil, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ating matitigil. Lumalang araw na wala't pansin ka, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang bigaya na kay mga api, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
With fair shores and mountains filled with treasures, on each land where dreams unfold, its people marching on to progress, hearts undaunted, brave and true. Hand in hand with brother Filipinos, Zamboanga will make you great. We'll work unceasing, without relenting, for country's might you can count on us. With fair shores and mountains filled with treasures, on each land where dreams unfold, its people marching on to progress, hearts and daughters brave and true. Hand in hand with brother Filipinos, Zamboanga will make you great. We'll work unceasing, without relenting, for country's might you can count on us. Come to beautiful Zamboanga, welcome to God's great gift given to man. Share our joys and sorrows, join in the making of the wondrous land. Zamboanga, the bountiful, we love thy whole hearts, great and small. We will live for you, we will die for you. Fearless is our Zamboanga the soul. Come to beautiful Zamboanga, welcome to God's great gift given to man. Share our joys and sorrows, join in the making of the wondrous land. Zamboanga the bountiful, we love thy whole hearts, great and small. We will live for you, we will die for you. Fearless is our Zamboanga the soul.
At this juncture, to inspire us with a welcome message, may we respectfully call in our SGOD Chief, Dr. Ernesto F. Tardo.
Hello, good morning. Can you
Good
hear
morning,
me?
sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. My greetings to our schools division superintendent, Dr. Maharani Jacinto, to our young and promising assistant schools division superintendent, Dr. Raymond Salvador and Dr. Romeo Daligdig, our chief in the CID, Dr. Juliet Magallanes, to all public schools district supervisors and principal in charge in the districts, school heads, um, nurses, health workers, designated guidance counselors, school health coordinator, to everyone who are present in this virtual room, and of course to our management team, headed by our head nurse, Alonso, together with the in charge of the mental health program of the division of Zamboanga del Sur. Good morning to all, and my wish and prayer that you are in good health and God's protection is upon us always. All we know that mental condition of everyone is very important, because our mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, and this could affect the totality of our personality. So therefore, it is very important that our mental condition should be in our mental health or mental condition in good, it should be in good shape, so that we can react to every situation that we are facing. I am very happy that our school health section come up with this program, and we are now having our division launching for the here to here psychological first aid and intervention program. So this is unique, no, in only in Zamboanga del Sur, and I am looking forward for the success of this implementation. However, this implementation will only become success if all of us will cooperate, will participate, so that this program will also, our school children will be benefited, particularly those who need our guidance in terms of uh, their condition as to the mental health. So I am sa ngayon pa lang, no, I am really excited with uh, this program to become very successful, knowing that in our situation nowadays, particularly in this time of pandemic, we have a lot of learners. I should say learners, no, because when we say learners, that includes our pupils, our students, our ALS learners will be included in this program. And the details, that nitty-gritty of the program will be discussed by our discussant this morning. So it's my prayer, and I hope that all of us, especially those who are involved in this program, will listen and will absorb all the inputs that will be shared to us by our resource person this morning, and not only hear it but apply it in our respective schools, because as what I have said, this is very important, especially in this time of pandemic, because we hear that there are students who committed suicide, there are students or learners who got pregnant because there is no proper guidance. No? So I think with this program, there is a mechanism that will be introduced, and our division office, particular our superintendent, is supporting on this program, and it's my prayer that we will not be yung sinasabi nila na ningas kugon, na magaling lang tayo sa umpisa, but our problem is how to sustain. And I hope the program owner, the program holder of this, will sustain its energy, its excitement in the implementation of the program. So, ngayon pa lang, binabati ko na yung program owner natin, yung mga health workers natin, because we are considered frontliners, no, particularly in this time. So, in behalf of the School Governance and Operations Division, especially our health program is under my supervision, I am personally welcoming all participants of this virtual launching of the Here-to-Heal Psychological First Intervention. God bless to all, and para sa bata, para sa bayan, gagawin natin ang lahat. That's
Thank you very much, Sir Chief, for the warm welcome and for inspiring everyone in the promotion of this mental health program for general welfare of our learners and personnel. And now, let us listen an inspirational message from our school's division superintendent, Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, CESO 6. Once again, let us listen an inspirational message from our school's division superintendent, Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, CESO 6. Ma'am?
Thank you very much for being around and participating to this webinar on Here-to-Hear program. We are aware that we have been visited by this pandemic, and yet we are also obliged to perform our duties and functions amidst this situation. So I'm appreciating the SGOD division, especially the health section, for initiating this program in order to address some of our, especially and wellness issues and concerns. This is our brothers and sisters agency, specifically DepEd Zamboanga del Sur, of their concern when it comes to their difficulties, their worries, their apprehensions, and fear of the current situation, especially in consideration to their finding that everyone in this platform will be able to internalize the essence of this program, the importance of this program to all of us. This cannot be operational without the full support of all the people involved in order to reach out because this is in the field, those that will be encountering difficulty and have no means of reaching out. So this is the best equipment to able to lighten those in this time. So it's a program designed to provide assistance to everyone who will be needing such kind of services. So with this, we are hoping and aspiring that we will be able to augment the need, even in this way, of our clients, both the teachers, the non-teaching, and our learners. And it can even be extended to the parents of our learners if need be. So this is not a limited service. This is open to all. What is important is you will reach out and these services will be provided to you. So I am congratulating the health sections for this initiative as a flagship in addressing mental and wellness issues of the DepEd Zamboanga del Sur, both internal and external clients. Thank you very much, and we aspire for a productive undertaking and future positive results out of this program. And be safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mamaha, for lifting our spirits and brightening our day with your kind message. Today is the launching of the Here to Hear program of the Division of Zamboanga del Sur. This is one way to support the one affected, to find ways to connect and to keep in touch with them, whether face-to-face, through phone or online calls, or other social platforms to connect, especially at these challenging and trying times of pandemic, by letting them know that there are people who care. Need help? We are here to hear your concerns. Tara, usap tayo. To understand thoroughly on this Here to Hear program, let us all listen attentively to our brilliant and eloquent speakers. Our first speaker is the Division Mental Health Coordinator and one of the proponents of this program, a competent nurse with a compassionate heart, a trained psychological first aid provider. And today, she's going to discuss to us about recognizing mental health crisis. What are the indicators of someone being in crisis? With that, may I ask you to give your full attention to Nurse Virgilia P. Cabot. A virtual hand of applause, please.
My snappiest salute to our Almighty God for having this wonderful opportunity. To our beloved Superintendent, Ma'am Harani Jacinto, to our two equally dynamic Assistant Superintendent, Sir Romeo Daligdig and Sir Raymond Salvador, to our two chiefs for the CID, Ma'am Juliet Magallanes, and to our very honest DOD Chief, Sir Ernesto F. Tardo, to all public schools district supervisors, to all school heads, to the different head of offices in the division office, to all our dear teachers and non-teaching personnel, have a pleasant day to everyone. We know that school mental health is one of the impact program of Oplan Kalusugan sa DepEd or OKD. This was included last 2019, and this is the 6th and last program of the OK sa DepEd under the umbrella of OK sa DepEd. And it is so timely that school mental health program was being launched because during 2019, COVID-19 started to afflict millions of people, not only in our country, but throughout the world. My task today is to discuss to us about recognizing mental health crisis. Before we will understand Here program, we must know how to identify and how to recognize what are those signs of mental health crisis and what is really mental health crisis. Before that, we will define mental health. Since we are talking about mental health, and we will be talking about mental health for this entire event, we will review, because I know all of us has knowledge already, because when COVID-19 came and there was a pandemic, there was also a mental health pandemic. Okay, so this mental health is defined by the World Health Organization last 1999 during the World Convention on Mental Health. It is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So that is the definition of mental health according to World Health Organization. Mental health has 3 components. This is how you look at yourself, how you look at your life, and the people in your life. This is something to do with how we deal with our stress in everyday life, especially nowadays. But because of COVID-19 pandemic, we are more stressed and even distressed. We keep on doing online tasks, especially for our teachers. Webinars here, webinars there, webinars everywhere. Link after link are being floated. And a lot more of tasks online. And I think all of us and some of our teachers are being burdened, are being pressured already. This is all, mental health also is how you relate to others. Your relationship with your friends, your families, your neighbors, your co-workers, your parents to your children. In fact, we know that happiness, relationship is one of the source of unhappiness. If there is something wrong with your relationship, your heart will be broken. Mental health also is how you evaluate your opinions and make decisions. How you decide really impact your mental health. So a while ago, I have said that mental health has 3 components. This is thinking, feeling, and acting. How we think, how we feel, and how we act constitutes our mental health. It is important to recognize your thoughts and to respond to it. So when we remember our nervous system, in our elementary and high school, the nurses and college, that the impact or the messages from our senses will be interpreted by the brain. The neurons will carry those messages and will go to the brain, and the brain will feedback, will interpret and send the feedback. So in the components of mental health, our thinking is very important. We need to recognize what are the thoughts we are having. When we think, we also feel. And feeling is a second component of mental health. And thinking, feeling will result to how we act, how we react, our actions. So when we think, when we feel, we also react. So these are the three components of mental health. Uban din silang tulo. So what we conceive in our mind will be felt by our heart, and we will be acted by our behavior, through our behavior. When we are worried of something, when we feel it, that there is a problem, then we are sad, we cried, we are upset. I cannot see already. So we will now go to the mental health crisis definition. Mental health crisis is a situation in which a person behavior and emotional or mental state puts them or someone else in danger and prevents them from being able to care for themselves and function effectively in the community. So from the definition itself, when we say mental health crisis, there is something to be a disorder with our minds, our feelings, and our behavior. Even we can notice that, we can identify that with our own selves. What is happening to me? What is happening to my thinking? What is happening to my feelings? What is happening to my behavior? Naunsa naman ko ani, no? So, murag lahi naman gid ni if you keep on worrying, you keep on being afraid, especially with COVID-19. In fact, this COVID-19 has exacerbates the problems of mental health. Grabe ang iyang impact. That's why I have said a while ago, if there is COVID-19 pandemic, there is also mental health pandemic. The effect of COVID-19 has impacted the lives of people's mental health. The more problems, because before COVID-19 affected people, we have been suffering, we have been struggling with our mental health issues. Ning samot na siya when COVID-19 came. Depression, the prevalence of depression rising, anxiety disorder were rising, and even suicide. The other week, I think that was last September, I have seen a video of a man who committed suicide. He wants to jump from the 5th floor of Northern Mindanao Medical Center. Why? Because he is a patient. He is positive with COVID, and he was able to contract all the family members. Sila tanan nag-positive. So he decided to commit suicide. Ngayon na lang kay natabang. So that is the impact of mental health crisis. So have you seen the images I have in my slide? You try to look at those things. They are the actions of the result of the negative thoughts and all the negative feelings that we might be suffering. I know it's easy for us to say, sakit akong ulo, sakit akong tiyan. But it's very hard to say that I am broken-hearted. And no one can see your heart na broken. Some say, "Lawad kay akong ulo." But deep inside, you're suffering from mental health crisis. I'm tired to go to work and look at that person. Someone is crying, sad, lonely, and even angry, even paranoia. Because of COVID-19, you think that all the virus is all just around you. This COVID virus is just at hand. Every time you breath, it seems that it is corona. It is COVID-19 virus. Paranoia. Kaya na ako maklaro. Ayaw na akong nurse. Okay, so we will now start to identify what are the signs of mental health crisis. How will we know if we are on mental health crisis? I know that some of us are struggling. You are not alone. Some of us have these signs. So one is neglect of personal hygiene. What do you mean by this? You don't know how to take a bath, or you cannot even wash your face, or you cannot even brush your teeth. That is mental health crisis. You forget to fix your sleeping materials, sleeping paraphernalia, and you're too tired. Changing of sleeping habits, changes of sleeping habits. It is more on insomnia. You cannot sleep all night. And if you can sleep, you can wake up early and you have only short sleep. And even you can have hypersomnia. You sleep all the time, day and night, 24/7. Another is significant weight gain or loss. Maybe because you eat a lot because of your anxiety, or you don't want to eat because of your anxiety. Manambok o maniwang. Another is decline in performance of work or school. And if you are working, you don't like to work anymore. You lose your interests. Seems that it's too heavy to go to work, or it's too heavy to go to school. And if you are a teacher, you have no interest to go to school because the school is also keeping you anxious because of the learning modality that we have. It seems that our world turned up inside down. Lahit na gid kaayo kaysa una. Another is excessive worrying or fear. Sige na lang og kaguol. Now, when you say worrying, you have one thought that keeps in your mind. You keep on worrying. Basig matakdan ko ani. Saan na lang nako matakdan ko? Saan na lang nako magka-COVID ko? What will happen to my family? I have no money for hospital bills. And we know last month, we cannot be admitted without oxygen tank. Everyone is worried about contracting with COVID-19 because of the situation, because of the surge. Thank God, dili na kaayo karon. I know everyone is buying oxygen tank, herding oxygen, herding azithromycin, and a lot more, just to keep us healthy and we can respond to this kind of deadly disease. Another is feeling excessively sad or low energy. When we say excessively sad, you're not only worried for one day, but your being sad takes days, weeks, and even months. And not only because of COVID, it might be because of conflicts in our family, in our work, and it could be because of some frustrations. And even these frustrations from childhood that we have kept in our hearts, keeping it inside. Aturang gidaladala, and you know what? These conflicts, these frustrations, maabot pa nag 50 years na itong daladala if we do not know how to recognize it. We do not know how to deal with it. 50 years of bearing those burdens inside you, and plus the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't know what crisis, what is the extent of the mental crisis that we are going to have. Another is confused thinking. Libog na tag, kanus apa man humani COVID-19? Some psychologists say that we have to imagine that we are going to navigate 2019 up to 2030 for this COVID pandemic. Kataas na tuig. 2019 up to 2030, 10 years of navigating. And aside from COVID-19, we are on mental health crisis. What will happen to us? Problems of concentrating. Bisan pag unsa kadaghang webinars. Pero murag paminaw nato wala nahabilin sa atong ulo. Sahay, so man to atong paminaw mo kasabot. Because we have difficulty of concentrating. And maybe because you have a lot of mental health problems. You have a lot of worries. You have a lot of anxiety. Confused thinking, problems of concentrating, and even learning. Now, for us, for our learners, it's hard to learn, especially that we are in the home. We don't understand the module. No teacher. Or lack of motivation, lack of interest. Kan kayong issues. Another is extreme mood changes. When you say extreme mood changes, karon malipayon ka, but suddenly you're upset. Kalit lang kag hilak. Or kalit lang kag kaguol. There is a shift between happy and sad mood. Ngayon din ang uban, bulanon. Tungod sa bulan. Hayag ang bulan or dulong. You have even nervousness and rage. I remember the story when Dr. Vic Hauchin told us, one of the president of the Theosophical Society in Manila, the owner of the Golden School, that school, Glenn, a certain father was able to kill his child because of rage. Because when he was asked, why did you kill your son? He said, I do not know why. Because when you are on mental health crisis, when you are in severe anger or rage, your brain will not function effectively. The tendency is you will not know what to do. You will not know what you're doing. Just like when you are stressed. It seems that our minds is black. Dili na mo function. Okay, another sign is prolonged or strong feelings of irritability and anger. The same. Prolonged, strong feelings of irritability. Dayon imo pa yung ikip sa imong imong kasuko. Lami na unta kay kusion, lami na kaayo hapakon. But you are trying to control yourself. Imo ra tong gikip. Takay resulta na. Maybe you can project your feelings. No? Sigutan na niya ni Ma'am for the other topics we're going to have this morning. Avoiding friends and social activities. So this is also one sign. Kaganan po sa mga friends and no more social activities. In fact, especially that we have social distancing, no mass gathering. Even though we can contact our friends through social media, but still it is different. It is different when you can hug somebody. If somebody will hug you, it's really different. Another sign is feeling tired or fatigued all the time. Kapoy na kayo. Kapoy na kayo ko sa mga webinar. Kapoy na kayo ko sa mga links. Kapoy na kayo ko aning style ron. Nusa pa man taan ni mabalik sa normal. Or maybe you are tired ever since, even though there was no COVID-19. You are tired of bringing all those pains inside. Wala ni mo na open up. Another sign is poor or increased appetite. Sahay lami kay ikaon. Or terminad yung lami ikaon. Or wala jud kay gana. Try to think of that. Basig naigo ta ani. It's one sign of mental health crisis. Another is difficulty perceiving reality. It could be paranoia, which is you're becoming suspicious. What is in your mind that someone is following you, stalking you, or even hallucinations. Kuyaw na gid ni. When you say hallucinations, there is misinterpretation. Sometimes you're afraid of your shadow because your shadow, it seems to you that your shadow is a monster. A hanging roof seems to be a snake. That is hallucination. And a lightning or thunder seems to be a shotgun. So in which a person experiences and senses things that do not exist in objective reality. That is hallucination. Another sign is inability to perceive changes in one's own feelings, behavior, or personality. You have lack of insight what is happening to you. That's why it's very important to have self-awareness, skills of self-awareness, so that you are always aware of what is happening to you. If you have mental health crisis, the tendency is you will no longer know yourself. You lack self-knowledge already. Another is overuse of substance like alcohol or drugs. So na tayo mainom and even use illegal drugs. Another is multiple physical ailments without obvious causes, such as headaches, stomach aches. You seem to be complaining of a lot of diseases, a lot of illnesses. Pero og magpa-check up, wala man kay sakit, ma'am. It could be stress. It could be psychosomatic illnesses. It could be mental health crisis. And the last three signs, thinking about suicide. Pahuna-huna na lang og hiko. There are a lot of our people who have positive in COVID-19 think of having suicide. Grabe ang impact kasi sa COVID-19 to the family, to yourself, to your children, to your parents, to your work. Expresses no sense of purpose. In fact, this expression of no sense of purpose is a sign of suicide also. Somebody will say, wala na may lami ning kalibutan, murag dili naman, wala naman ko'y gana ani kinabuhi, no? Murag wala naman ko'y pulos nga mabuhi pa. So that is an expression that you have no sense of purpose in life. It seems that life for you is no longer beautiful, that life for you is all bad, that life for you is being all disappointments, pain, hurts. And the last one is inability to carry out daily activities or handle daily problems and stress. This one, you are no longer has the ability to carry out your activities, and you can no longer even handle your daily problems and stress. So those were the warning signs for mental health crisis. And this one are for children, warning signs for children. How will we know that our children has also suffering from mental health crisis? One is there is changes in school performance. Ganahan mo answer. That's why there are parents who are struggling because their children are not doing their modules. Abunal na lagay anak because their children are not doing, has no interest in doing their module. Excessive worry or anxiety. Binagulay cellphone ang bata. Binagulay kadula. There is also hyperactivity behavior. Frequent nightmares. Frequent disobedience or aggression. Sige, minaldito ang bata. No? Sige, kasuko. And you have also frequent temper tantrums. And sige, saputon. Sige, hilak. So these are signs for our children for mental health crisis. So, we are very thankful for this Here to Hear program because our action can be healthy by talking to someone, talking out our feelings to someone. And talking therapy has been a great healing for our pains inside. You can reach out, you can cope, you can connect. It's important to talk about your feelings. And that's why we have this Here to Hear program. And before I end, in behalf of the school mental health program, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the people who are responsible for this. I would like to thank, first of all, our nursing services in at the same time COVID-19 coordinator in the division of Zamboanga del Sur, Glenda Duliente, where he is the brain of the Here to Hear program, and Therese Camache also. I would like also to thank our OKD Queen Mother of the Division of Zamboanga del Sur, our Oplan Kalusugan sa DepEd Coordinator, Christine Sabanal, for doing her best in order to realize this Here to Hear. I thank God for you, Queen, for such a great effort and endeavor just to make this program, Here to Hear program, possible. Here to Hear is a psychological intervention, and it's only in the division of Zamboanga del Sur throughout Region 9. There is no health without mental health, because mental health and our physical health and the totality of our being a person are being interconnected. We should be mentally healthy so that we can be healthy. To be healthy as a whole, mental wellness plays a role. Thank you, and good morning to one and all.
Thank you very much, Mom Virgilia. It is really important to know the warning signs that an individual may be struggling with, so that we can support them in the best way possible. Likewise, it is important to address mental health emergency quickly and effectively. Moving on, our next speaker is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary in Education, major in Biology, Master in Education, major in Educational Management, Doctor of Education, major in Educational Management, a Master Teacher 1 in Mid-Salip National High School, District Research Coordinator, Division Learning Area Chairman, Quality Assurance Team, Division Journalism Facilitator, and member of the Regional Pool of Teacher Article Writers. And now, she will discuss to us about nourishing mental health the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have us today Dr. Creslil Sangrenas Andaya. A virtual hand of applause, please.
Hello, a pleasant morning to everyone. A salute to our division superintendent, Dr. Maharani Jacinto, to our two ASDS, Dr. Raymond Salvador and Dr. Romeo Daligdig, our chiefs, Dr. Ernesto Tardo and Dr. Juliet Bagallanes. We also have our education program supervisors, coordinators, our district supervisors, and principal in charge of the districts. We have also our school principals for secondary, my fellow teachers, and the person behind this launching of the Here to Here program. It is indeed my pleasure to be a part of this team. Good morning, everyone. So this is Chris Leo Sangranes and Daya, your session facilitator for this next hour. So probably you might have noticed during the Division Research Congress that I have presented it under Disaster Risk Reduction Management theme, my action research entitled Maximizing Mental Health and Psychological Support Services poster, Enhancing Resiliency Level in this New Normal Time. Why did I came up to this research? That's because of the theme behind this program. Because that was summer a year ago that I was given the chance to be part of the mental health webinar and have learned something from it. I've learned a lot from the seminar. And so I'd like also to inculcate the learnings I have to my fellow teachers. And I guess this will be through this action research that I will be extending my learning to others as well, especially in coping up with problems and struggles they have at hand. So with that, I was able to come up with my intervention poster, and this is how it looks like. I think every one in the district, my fellow teachers from Midsalip National High School, good morning to everyone. I have distributed a copy of this to my fellow teachers, and I am very overwhelmed of the feedback that they have given. And also, I guess it was also distributed to some personnel in the division office. So to talk about what I've learned about mental health and how did I how did it sink in to my intuition? For me, it's mental health means capacity of the individual to form harmonious relationship with others and to participate and contribute constructively to changes in his social or physical environment. This was taken from the study of Pilgrim D 2019 titled Key Concepts in Mental Health SAGE. So with that idea, I was able to come up with an action research because I'd like to bridge the gap between having a proper relationship with others and between understanding oneself. So that's why I'd like to introduce these key facts about mental health. That says it's more than the absence of mental disorders. You don't have to be labeled as mentally disordered person because there are interventions given by persons in authorities or even in this program. We could get rid of mental disorders and mental problems that would also affect the way we work. And also, mental health is an integral part of health. Indeed, there is no health without mental health because it's always mind over matter. Everything you speak, everything you thought of, everything that you deal with, and the manner how you deal with other persons, the manner you express yourself is a part of your mental health. That came from basically your mental health. And also, it is determined by a range of social, economic, biological, and environmental factors. Because it is needless to emphasize that our are defined by the environment where we lived in or where we are introduced into by our parents. Also, the key fact about mental health is that it cost-effective public health and intersectional strategies and interventions exist to promote and protect, restore mental health. That is why it is the initiative of the division to conduct this program, to launch this program, so that somehow problems in the field related to the pandemic or related to individuals' emotions and way of dealing with others could also be addressed. How do we promote mental health? These are the key points of promoting mental health. First is that we introduce early childhood interventions, just like we provide our children, the kids, with proper nourishment. We provide them with an environment full of love, understanding, and patience. With that, they will grow with love as well, patience and understanding, and show respect as they deal with others. It's also needed to give support to children like skill programs. That's why we parents try to diagnose the skill of our kids rather, at an early age, so that if we notice that they love singing, we'll provide them with singing adventures or we'll provide them with dancing instructions so that they will also be blooming. Another is that we also have to indulge themselves, ourselves rather, and the people around us, especially those parents, the kids that you have at home, should be exposed to socioeconomic empowerment, especially for women, because that's, if you have noticed, and if you could recall, it was a statement of the reigning Miss Universe when she said that women should take up space because as of the moment we promote gender equality, and that's the time that women was also given chances to bloom as well, to express themselves and to take the lead. And also, even the elderly should also be given a chance to bloom as well. That's why we give them breathing initiatives, community and daycare centers. Why do we do that? Because this elderly sometimes are neglected because the children that they raise are also into work, and so they don't have a time anymore to deal with their elderly at home. So they bring their elderly people in centers where they could be taken care of. So another thing that we could promote mental health is that we promote programs that make people have psychosocial interventions after disasters, because disasters will also make a way for other people, especially those who experience it, to be somehow down in their emotion, especially when everything was dilapidated, or everything at home was already damaged. Also, mental health could be promoted through programs involving ecological changes in schools. That's why from time to time when principals go swapping of their assignments, they adjust again to the personnel that they are dealing with, to the subordinates that they are dealing with. So somehow, principals should also be introduced to this program so that they will also be having a smooth transition of how they will be leading the next group of subordinates that they will be having. And also the last key point to promote mental health is to provide a group of people this stress prevention program. And this here-to-here program is the best way to start the day, right? To start the movement of promoting stress-free division, stress-free individual, and a happy, fulfilling person. So with that, again, I'm very happy to launch along with this here-to-here program, the poster that was the intervention of my action research, and a special thank you to Sir Daligdig, Sir Romeo Daligdig, our research committee chairman, along with Dr. Lito Bahian and Dr. Sharon Gay Cadalina for really putting forward my best foot in coming up with this research. Actually, I informed Sir Lito that I was very happy it was adopted. These are the contents of my poster. First is that you need to smile, look good, and feel good. Why do I say that? Because this was the first thing that was emphasized in the mental health webinar. You don't just exercise your zygomaticus muscles, but when you smile, you feel good and look good. You feel beautiful inside and out. So you don't have to put makeup. You don't have to wear elegant dress just to feel good and look good. Just smile. So when you smile, you become the beautiful version of yourself. Second is that you maintain healthy lifestyle. How do we do that? We balance our sleep and eating issues. Sometimes it was stressed by the previous speaker that when we are stressed, we do overeating, or sometimes we do not eat. So with that, when we forget to take into consideration those key points, that's the time our bodies will also deteriorate. And when our bodies will deteriorate, our mental health also will not be in proper condition, good condition, I mean. Third key point of my poster is that reflect on yourself first before you look at others, because sometimes we look at the wrong things or the wrongdoings of others, and we forgot to go through ourselves whether we also did wrong things to others or to ourselves, or technically we do things away from how God wanted us to do it. So that's third. Fourth is that we need to handle emotions properly. It's okay to talk about our own fears. It's okay. But we never exaggerate. Sometimes when a person will die, it's our choice if we will die along with the death of our loved one. Or sometimes we could boost ourselves and think that there's thinking way that when a person dies, a saint will be with the Lord, and another answered prayer of Jesus trying to be with a person who lived the natural world already. Fifth is that we have self-care. We balance different aspects of our life. We manage pressure, achievements, and connections. This is really my personal move that whenever I achieve something, I do something, I always ask the Lord to still plant in me the seed of humility. So I will not be counting the achievement based on my own ability, but I will always be giving glory to the Lord. Because when that with that, I will always be clinging to the need for Jesus to came into my presence every time I need wisdom, knowledge, and every time I do this like this, a speaking engagement. So with that, humility is really the basics of having a fruitful life for me. So these are the key points I've learned from the mental health webinar. The sixth I'd like to emphasize is that we follow a daily routine. We establish our mood to be prepared for our work. When I had a conversation with a fellow at school, she said that she really need to establish her mood for the day, or else she will not be doing anything at all for the rest of the day. If she started the day with a chit chat with a fellow person, a fellow teacher in school, probably she will not be doing the segregation of the module, or probably she will not be in tune to checking the answer sheets of the learners. So that's how I would like it to be understood. Next is that we stay connected with others. In the middle of pandemic that we have experienced today, we are limited as to how we mingle with others. Sometimes we hope to be with our relatives physically, but with the aid of technology, we were able to talk with others virtually, continue our church services in a virtual manner, and continue to express ourselves the way the technology could offer. And eighth key point is that we manage stress and we stay positive. We pray, forgive, and take gratitude. Sometimes there are instances in our lives that we cannot control, we cannot manage, but somehow we could still cling to the Lord, ask the Lord to take place, ask the Lord to heal our pain, and so we could forgive, because forgiveness is the basic of having a joyful life. It's the prerequisite of having that happiness that you intend to have in your life. And when you take gratitude as well to the persons who have somehow contributed to your success, that's the time you will always be looking back to where you came from. And that's the time you will be thanking the persons behind your success. And the last but my very favorite part of my poster is that it says, recognize feelings. It's okay not to be okay. Just don't get lost into it. Because sometimes when we are lost to the feeling of being lost, the feeling of being betrayed, feeling of being left behind or left alone, sometimes we feel little about ourselves. We feel like we don't have anything to pursue of. We don't have a goal to be dreamed of. We don't have a dream and an ambition to be achieved of. And that's a no-no, because every single day added to our lives is a day to make a difference, to make a change to ourselves, to make a change to the life of others, and above all, to change our perspectives about ourselves, about the world, and about how it is being run by the persons, our superiors that are always governing us, teaching us the right way. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy. I'd like to personally thank Ma'am Christine Sabanal for asking me to be part of this launching, because this is my dream, really. I told Sir Lito that I will be very happy if it will be given to other teachers. It will be introduced to other teachers, because it's my way to inflict positivity to others. Even if I'm not physically present, but my poster will speak in behalf of me. So thank you, Mom Christine, for giving me the chance to be part of this program. So together, let us look at the beauty of life. I tell you, it makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And that ends this talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mom Chrislil, for emphasizing that mental health really matters and how we make simple changes on how to live, and it doesn't need to cost a fortune or take up loads of time. It is important to take care of ourselves or yourself and get the most from life. Smile, look good, feel good. It's okay not to be okay. Don't get lost to it. By the way, I have some announcement that evaluation link will be posted later by our SMME SEPs, Arturo Jr. and S. Antiquina. Moving on to our third speaker. So this is the meat of this activity, the orientation on the guidelines on Here-to-Here program. It will be thoroughly discussed by our Division Upland Kalusugan sa DepEd coordinator, a well-rounded coordinator who can do all the tasks of the 6 health programs under Upland Kalusugan sa DepEd. A competent, confident, and compassionate nurse. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a massive virtual applause to Nurse Kirsten Eileen Dueñas Tabanao.
Mayong buntag, DepEd Zamboanga del Sur. I'm very much happy this morning that we were be able to launch our program, the Here-to-Here program, under the mental health of Upland Kalusugan sa DepEd. This morning, I will be discussing on the guidelines on the implementation of the Here-to-Here program. The outbreak of COVID-19 has created concern and worry among the general population. Our learners and even our teachers and other personnel were greatly experiencing fear, anxiety, and stress with the current modality of learning or changes in the delivery of basic education and work setup. Many have felt anxious, afraid, and even those affected by the virus or the situation in different ways may be in greater panic, fear, and worry. As the pandemic started, the school health section has received reports of teachers, personnel, learners, and even parents who were in distress or even depressed because of the current situation. Our nurses and our GCs were able to conduct counseling or provide PFA to some of these individuals who were greatly affected, especially those teachers or students in the scope of our psychosocial support service, learners, and parents. That is why the school health section of DepEd Zamboanga del Sur came up with this program. Andito kami, handang makinig at tumulong para kayo'y makipag-ugnayan upang maibsan ang bigat ng nararamdaman sa pamamagitan ng psychosocial support services, which includes counseling, education, and spiritual support. So here are the guidelines on the implementation of our Here-to-Here program. Let me define first what is this program and who are the people who can enjoy or access this program. The Here to Here program is a mental health program of DepEd Zamboanga del Sur Division that aims to provide psychosocial support services in response to learners, teaching and non-teaching personnels and stakeholders needing psychological first aid to help them cope with better life's challenges. So this is for all DepEd personnel of Zamboanga del Sur and even the parents and our learners who are experiencing some mental distress, okay? So if you are experiencing some stress, anxiety, anger, or whatever feeling that you have that you need someone to talk to, you can always access our platforms so that you can avail the Here to Here program, okay? So we have been discussing a while ago about the importance of mental health and how does it affects our physical body as well. So that is why this Here to Here program will also serve as a venue for the promotion of mental health and well-being of our DepEd personnel, learners, and this could be communicated through a variety of platforms. And what are these platforms? You can do phone call, text messaging, online messaging, and other social media apps. As for this moment, we already have our Facebook page, the Here to Here program page. You can visit the page and like the page so that, and if you needed some help or if you needed someone to listen to, you could message us through that FB page or you can call us on our hotline as well. So the Here to Here program will also provide them an easy access to avail psychosocial support services. So what do you mean by psychosocial support services? These services are, part of these services are counseling. We will have group support. You can also do psychological first aid for those who are experiencing trauma or stress and other mga support services under the mental health program, okay? And this Here to Here program is a unique program of DepEd Zamboanga del Sur of the school health section. And this can be availed through a helpline or a QR code which will be linked to a Google form. And rest assured that all of our conversation during the availment of this program is we are practicing confidentiality at all times. So why do we actually conceptualize this program? One of the reasons we conceptualize this program was because we in the school health section have seen or have what do you call this? We have gathered a lot of reports or informations from the field that there are a lot of teachers or even other DepEd personnel who are really experiencing mga stress, especially when they go on quarantine and isolation. And it was also mandated under DepEd 14 series of 2020, which is the guidelines on the required health standards in basic education services, wherein mental health services was emphasized in enclosure number 2 and 3 under the support mechanism. It was stated there that the school division's office must have a hotline in the division office for our personnel in the field and even in the offices could call on this hotline and avail mental health services. So that is why we have come up and conceptualized this Here to Here program. So this is our DepEd Order 14 series of 2020. So let's go on with the general objective of our program. The general objective of Here to Here program is to ensure the provision of mental health and psychosocial support to all learners, DepEd Zamboanga del Sur personnel through a sustainable program towards better mental resilience. Specific objectives of this program is to raise awareness among our learners and DepEd personnel on the impact of connection and interaction through Here to Here program. You know, when we are in distress and we are even depressed, no, it is really important that we will have someone to talk to. usahay manggod, or sometimes we get to be shy, or we get to be very disclose with our problems, okay? Especially if maulaw ta tungod kailan nato ang mga tao sa ato ano. So most likely there are some people who would like to unload their problems through talking to someone they do not know, or wala sila nailhan. At least they would just like to unload and someone would listen to them, okay? So that is one of our objectives, that we would raise awareness that it is important that we have to unload our problems by telling it to others, okay? But not at all times, man, no? But there are certain times that we really need to unload those things that we have in mind. Another objective for this program is to recognize the importance of mental health promotion and prevention of mental health issues. Okay, so as what I have said, we have our FB page. Through those FB page, we will be posting quotes or any, what do you call this? Mga sayings that would uplift your spirit or uplift your mental stability or your mental health, or to promote mental stability. Another objective is to provide an easy access to our learners and DepEd personnel in availing psychosocial support services and psychological interventions, as well as referral when needed to help cope and manage negative feelings. Actually, the school health section of DepEd Zamboanga del Sur has already this kind of program, even wala pa ang pandemic, no? We already have this mental health program. But because of what is happening right now, we strengthened the program and we really made sure that not only those mga naikailang nurses ang pwede maka-avail sa program, okay? Or maka-avail of counseling, or naikailang mga GCs, okay? So we made it known to others, or to all DepEd personnel in Zamboanga del Sur and even our learners, that they have an access to this program, so that if they needed psychological interventions, there is really someone to help them, okay? And if in the process wherein the nurse or the GC or the trained PFA would not be able to solve or resolve the problem, we will be doing referrals to other trained or other mental counseling, okay? To help our learners and students to manage these negative feelings that they are feeling during the pandemic or all throughout their life as personnel and students. Through this here-to-here program, we will be also establishing database of psychosocial support services that we will be rendering to our learners, DepEd personnel, with strict adherence to data privacy. So, lahat po ng mga counselors natin or yung ating mga PFA providers are trained, and they will be really practicing data privacy. Actually, in our registration form, if you can see it later on, it is not required that you will write your name, okay? But the important is we will know from what school, your age, and how we can contact you to provide the counseling or the PFA. So how does this program will be implemented, okay? So schools with guidance counselors or designated guidance associates who were trained on MHPSS and PFA shall maintain, or if wala pa guidance office sa school, they should set up a guidance office to provide basic mental health services to our learners and personnel, especially to those who are confirmed to be positive with COVID-19 under isolation or quarantine, categorized as suspect and probable case, and mentally distressed. So, sabi na sa DepEd 14 din, no, that schools must have their own guidance designate or guidance counselor, and they should set up their own guidance office, okay? The most appropriate method which duly considers the safety of the provider shall be employed through internet or hotlines, okay? So there would be times na, especially if the cases are surging, di ba? It would be hard enough to do face-to-face counseling or face-to-face PFA. So we are more likely to have a remote PFA or remote counseling. So that is why itong programming ito is being conceptualized for that kind of reason. Okay. The school's division office shall set up a hotline or an online platform, which is the Here-to-Here program, to provide counseling services to our learners, teachers, and personnel who require PFA or counseling services. In the absence of the registered GC in schools, our learners, teachers, and school-based and SDO personnel shall be referred to this platform for PFA or counseling services. Okay? So, hindi talaga, not all of our schools has registered GCs. Okay? So, they can contact this hotline to help them for PFA or any counseling services. The hotline or the online platform shall be manned by pool of trained PFA providers under the supervision of school health coordinators who will serve also as call dispatchers. Okay? Once you avail the service, like for example, you avail the service through scanning the QR code, there will be a registration form there, okay? And you can choose kung unsa nga kinsa inyong gustong PFA provider, either a nurse or a guidance counselor. And then the call dispatcher, which is the school health coordinators who were assigned on that day, will then redirect you to a trained PFA providers. Okay? So sila na ang tatawag sa inyo to do the PFA. As client wishes to avail the services, they shall call or text the hotline number provided, or they may click the link generated or scan the QR code, which will automatically redirect to an online registration form. So how can they reach us? As what I have said, we have a call hotline through our Facebook page. You can message on the Facebook page and through other social media apps. Okay, so this will be our official QR code. As you can see in the screen, this is our official QR code. And these are our official call hotline, the Globe and Smart. And this would be our official FB page. Ang name po ng FB page natin is Here to Hear, meaning we are here to listen and hear your voice. Okay? So yan po, please, anyone, if you are opening your FB page, your Facebook, you can visit our FB page and click like. And at the same time, if you want to avail the service, you can click the send message. And then there will be a prompt message that will direct you on how to avail the program. Okay, so for the QR code, if you will be, anong tawag yun sa QR code? Scanning the QR code, okay, it will redirect you to a registration form, okay? So this is our registration form. After scanning the QR code, ito po yung lalabas sa screen, the registration form. As you can see, needed lang po talaga yung email, your age, the gender, and the name of school, as well as who you want to talk to, a nurse or a guidance counselor, okay? So we actually did not include the name. Kung pwede, you can write nicknames, okay? Because at the time that we will do the PFA, that would be the time now we will just ask you if you are willing also to tell us your name. So this is the H2H algorithm. So the client contacts the H2H hotline, an admin dispatches the client request, and the H2H provider contacts the client. So as the dispatcher assigned for the day will forward the request to an available trained PFA provider, the chosen PFA provider will then contact the client and will proceed to the provision of the PFA. So the PFA provider shall make a report in every session of PFA and counseling made for documentation. Always remember that confidentiality must be practiced or shall be practiced all throughout the process. So thank you for listening on the guidelines and the implementation of Here to Here program. So we would like to ask our mechanics on how we can avail the program. Please tune in.
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused us to face various challenges and sufferings that resulted in unprecedented fear, anxiety, worry, uncertainty, and confusion to many of us. Nevertheless, whatever you are not alone. We are all in this together. You can reach out, connect, and talk to someone. We, your DepEd Zamboanga del Sur family, is here to hear you.
The DepEd Zamboanga del Sur now officially launches the Here to Hear program, an online psychological support intervention for learners, teachers, non-teaching personnel, and parents who might be experiencing stress or psychological distress during the pandemic.
A pool of PFA providers comprising of guidance counselors and nurses who are trained in psychological first aid are here to help you navigate through your myriad of emotions. Here's how you can connect with us.
Scan the QR code, hotlines, or visit and message our official FB page Here to Hear. Dispatcher will immediately direct you to the PFA provider. Rest assured that our conversations are confidential. Always remember that your story matters.
You matter. So don't be afraid to reach out, connect and share. Seek help and let's survive this pandemic together. Tara! Usap tayo!
So that's it, our Here to Hear program of the Department of Education, Zamboanga del Sur Division under the School Health Section. We would like to thank, before I will end my speak for this morning, I would like to thank the following people who are behind the video. Sir F.A. Lopez, and our models for that video, we have Ma'am Zendel Esplana and Sir Brian Talempros. Also, we also like to thank the ICT team, especially Sir Raymart, and Ma'am Michelle of the ICT. Salamat kayo mga ma'am and sir no for helping us to get through this program. No, you are part of this program and we are very much happy to know that you're always there to help us and support us all the way. Also, to our technical team for this morning, we have Sir Jay Fricks, Sir Sir Prince, Sir John Jan, Sir Raymart, and the rest of the team, and also Ma'am Chris Lil for supporting us as well, for coming here and do the talk about mental health matters. No, thank you so much, ma'am. And to all others, school health coordinators, Ma'am Virgilia Cabot, and to our moderator for this day, Ma'am Wiwa Gomez. Thank you so much, no, for everyone for supporting us and for helping us to get through with the program. It has been almost a year that we come up with the planning until we realize the launching of this program. So I hope in the future we would be able to help others, no? We would be able to listen to your story, because it is very important that your story really matters to us, because you matters, okay? And thank you so much. And once again, this is Miss Kirsten Eileen Sabanao, giving to you our program, the Here to Hear program. Thank you so much. And once again, good morning.
Thank you very much, Nurse Kirsten, for guiding us through in providing PFA to our learners and personnel who need help through our Here to Hear program. And now let us listen to another range of health and social challenges by the adolescents. Adolescence is one life's most fascinating and complex life stages, and is accompanied by special reproductive health needs. With that, the school health section of Zamboanga del Sur Division created the DepEd Cares FB page. And so, to give us an overview on the DepEd Cares, let us all welcome our Division Adolescent Reproductive Health Coordinator, Nurse Zendal Ann Cisplana. A massive virtual hand of applause, please.
My due respect to our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, our ASDSS, Dr. Raymond Salvador, and Dr. Romeo Daligdig, our CID Chief, Dr. Magallanes, and as well as our SGOD Chief, Dr. Ernesto Tardo, Public Schools District Supervisors, school heads, teachers and non-teaching personnel, SDO personnel, my fellow nurses and dentists, guidance counselors and designated guidance counselors, and of course, our dearest learners, and to all who's watching, a youthful morning to everyone. A year ago, everyone was concerned by the global public health crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, which has significantly disrupted every aspect of human life worldwide and faces difficult challenges, particularly to public health and education. In this time of pandemic, when everything is affected, including the delivery of quality education and health services in school, this division is committed to provide necessary support in the continual implementation of the different school health programs, despite the challenges that we are all facing. With all those things that is happening these days, in response, today, Here to Hear program is being launched through the school health section under the mental health program. Relative to this division-initiated program, the ARH, or the Adolescent Reproductive Health Program, has also created this FB page, DepEd Cares for Youth, to provide promotion and prevention services to our learners and teachers. As mentioned a while ago,
Oplan Kalusugan sa DepEd has 6 flagship programs. One of those programs is the Adolescent Reproductive Health Program. Just an overview of what ARH program all about. ARH aims to strengthen or to improve the capacity of our teachers and non-teaching professionals to provide age-appropriate reproductive health education in schools as mandated by Republic Act 1034, or also known as the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2002. Its purpose also includes to come up with activities or programs in schools that provide appropriate knowledge and raise awareness about responsible parenthood and reproductive health, not only for our students, but also for their parents and our teachers as well. Service on Filipino youth, it was recorded that 15.6% of the adolescent respondents are current smokers and 2.6% have ever used drugs. And 8.1% of adolescents ages 15 to 19 years old have ever passed out drunk. Also, in April 2017, there were 629 new HIV antibody seropositive individuals reported to the HIV, AIDS, and ART Registry of the Philippines, or HARP, and 33 of them are young adolescents ages 10 to 19 years old. As a result of these worrying statistics and increasing healthy risk behaviors among our Filipino adolescents, both government and non-government organizations have devised various plans and programs to address these issues and concerns in order to establish a healthy and responsible population. So, here in DepEd Division of Zamboanga del Sur, we have this DepEd Cares for Youth Facebook page. This aims to promote health awareness, conduct advocacies, and various activities related on adolescent health issues, and provide mga remote counseling and referrals to learners with risky behaviors. So it is also a communication channel, this DepEd Cares for Youth Facebook page. It could also be a communication channel through which adolescents can raise inquiries and express concerns about reproductive health and other topics. This page also serves as a venue for teachers and non-teaching personnel to obtain information and mga online trainings that are needed to better understand our adolescents. So basically, this DepEd Cares program, it's just we are here para i-promote ang mga different programs sa school health. Just like the here to here, we can here in this page we can post or we can raise mga advertise the campaign on our here to here program, because in the DepEd Cares program, we don't just focus on about reproductive health, but as a total, ang holistic approach ang ato ang ihatag nga services sa ato ang mga adolescent learners, whether it be in reproductive health, our mental health, or as a total whole well-being. Because we want to have a well-informed, empowered, and responsible young adolescents. And we know that social media can present some risk, and that is why it is important to understand the benefits of these kind of platforms to our adolescent learners, especially in the new normal. Proper guidance are needed from us, especially from the parents, so that our learners can make the best out of their social media use. So, how social media can support young individual or young people? Social media brings education, no? online platforms can help teenagers get the right information that they need. And social media also brings communication. And social media brings socialization through mga forums. Hopefully, we can conduct mga kumustahan in our Facebook page so that teenagers are able to contribute their opinions and thoughts on certain topics, not just on reproductive health, but also with their concerns and issues that they are dealing to. And that would be all. Thank you very much for your time. Tandaan, tamang tao, tamang impormasyon, dahil iba ang may alam. This has been Zendel Ann C. Esplana, your Division ARH Coordinator, saying, mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zendel Ann, for creating an FB page on DepEd Cares, where DepEd Zamboanga del Sur Division learners and personnel can view, share, post, connect, and to meaningfully participate in the delivery of interventions to improve and maintain health. Before I give the floor to Ma'am Aimee, please allow me to acknowledge those people who contributed to the realization and success of this Here program. To our school's Division Superintendent, Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, CESU 6, our two ASDSs, Dr. Remea M. Daligdig and Dr. Raymond M. Salvador. And of course, to our very supportive SGOD Chief, Dr. Ernesto F. Tardo. Maraming salamat po. And of course, to the proponents of this program, our Division Mental Health Coordinator, Nurse Virgilia P. Cabat, and Division Upland Kalusugan sa DepEd Program Coordinator, Nurse Kirsten Eileen D. Sabanal. And we will not forget the brains behind this initiative, our Division Nursing Services Program Coordinator, Division COVID-19 Focal, and the ZDF Division Florence Nightingale, Nurse Glenda May Doliente Bonsobre. And of course, to the program management team, this will not be possible without you. Thank you very much. Headed by ITO Sir Chester Don Bayakat and ICT staff, Mr. Raymond Akdal and Mr. John Ray Flores, Sir J. Fricks Katakutan, our X2, and Sir Prince Ego, and all the program team, thank you very much. And of course, our videographer, we will not forget, Mr. Felix Andrew P. Lopez, who skillfully oversees the details of the video production. And the very supportive husband of our program proponent, Mr. Romel Sabanal. Thank you very much, sir, for the support, all our support to her lovely wife, Miss Kirsten Eileen Sabanal. And of course, we will not forget our OKD program coordinators. And to Mom Chrislil. Chrislil, Mom, where are you? Thank you very much for coming over. Thank you for the speakers, for sharing your knowledge and expertise and spending your precious time with us. And to all the attendees of this convergence, maraming salamat po for listening attentively and patiently staying with us until this time. And now, to formally formally close our activity for today, let us hear the closing remarks from our nurse in charge, Nurse Amy E. Alonzo. A virtual hand of applause, please. Once again, may I call in our nurse in charge, Ma'am Amy E. Alonzo, for her closing remarks. Again, to formally close our activity for today, let's hear the closing remarks from our nurse in charge, Nurse Amy E. Alonzo. Ma'am Amy?
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Ma'am Wee. Hello.
Yes,
Once again, in behalf of the school health section, this is a division-led program under the program, and everyone, especially from starting from our top management, our SDES, Jacinto, to our chief, our SGO chief, Sir Ernesto F. Pardo, to all PSDS, principals in charge, elementary school head, guidance counselors, designated guidance counselors or advocates, and to all teaching and non-teaching personnel. This program is very much beneficial to all of us, especially from us personnel and also to learners. So here, your sentiments. Here we are here to listen to your concerns, to your doubts, to your feelings, and since this is a division initiative, so we would like to reach out everyone out there to please access this link as what discussed by the speakers earlier on how to access the link, and we do hope that this can really help everyone, and we can talk anything under the sun, no one who to know. So hopefully this program will reach the vision of Zamboanga at this time of pandemic. We all know that we need to listen to the concerns, the doubts, and to all those suffering from depression, from especially those inflicted with COVID-19. We would like to reach to you that we are here to hear your concerns and all other feelings that you have. So, tara na, usap tayo, and thank you everyone.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Amy. And reminder to everyone, please do not forget to fill out and submit the online evaluation form being shown at the bottom of the screen. Again, please do not forget to fill out and submit the online evaluation form being shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. And this is your host, Jesusa Wiwa Domingo Gomez, saying muchas gracias y vaya con Dios. Stay safe and God bless.
Stress is usually seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning, helps us focus, learn, and remember new things. It's when people experience too much stress and start having difficulties coping that stress becomes a problem. High levels of stress can disrupt the natural changes in the body's stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing or ignoring problems are examples of unhelpful coping strategies or false taps. They might give temporary relief, but actually result in water flowing back into your bucket. This video was created by Brave, Building Healthy Minds.
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused us to face various challenges and sufferings that resulted in unprecedented fear, anxiety, worry, uncertainty, and confusion to many of us. Nevertheless, whatever you are feeling right now, keep in mind that you are not alone. We are all in this together. You can reach out, connect, and talk to someone. We, your DepEd Zamboanga family, is here to hear you.
The DepEd Zamboanga del Sur now officially launches the Here to Hear program, an online psychological support intervention for learners, teachers, non-teaching personnel, and parents who might be experiencing stress or psychological distress during the pandemic.
A pool of BSA providers comprising of guidance counselors and nurses who are trained in psychological first aid are here to help you navigate through your myriad of emotions. Here's how you can connect with us.
Scan the QR code, text or call these hotlines, or visit and message our official FB page Here to Hear. Dispatcher will immediately direct you to a PFA provider. Rest assured that our conversations are confidential.
Always remember that your story matters.
You matter.
So don't be afraid to reach out, connect and share. Seek help and let's survive this pandemic together. Tara, usap tayo!